My dear Rob,
Cheer up,
I'm actually about to burst out laughing because I can't believe I'm doing this. Anyway, alright, I shouldn't have said my dear Rob, I should have just said my lovely Rob. Okay, asked me to say a few words. And most of you know I love to talk. But what you might not know about me is that I hate public speaking. So the good news is I'm going to keep this super short. Look, it's only that big. It's not 4 pages, Rob. I was nervous. When I think of Rob, I think generous. He's generous with how he spoils his family, his colleagues, his friends, most people he meets, and he's also very generous with himself. Our house... Our house, which most of you have been to, except I think for Rachel, our house could almost be mistaken for a bike shop or a bookstore or even a JB Hi-Fi. So he's not just generous in the material sense, but also in his genuine love and interest of people in their lives. Generous in how much time he spends researching his old and new hobbies like a man possessed, and likes nothing more than to spend time with any of us here or anyone he meets, as long as it's before 9 p.m. in the evening. So I think tonight might be an exception. We're going to go 10 tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Might even make it till midnight.
So my dear dad was also a generous soul, so I think falling in love with Rob came pretty easy. I think you will agree that this weekend actually sums up Rob perfectly. So we're both really glad that you're here to help us celebrate his special birthday. Rob, I'm lucky and I adore you. I always brag you off to everybody, but I actually do adore you. And I hope we have many more generous years together. So I would now like to hand over to Emma with the most gorgeous accent, because she's much better at public speaking than I am, and she's going to say a few words as well. So thank you and happy birthday.
So I want to dispel a myth. I'm not good at public speaking, and I have a terrible accent, and I hope you understand me. But I'm honoured to be able to say a few words about Rob. I feel decidedly underqualified given the tenure of love in the room for Rob, but I'll do my best. So there's a few little observations on Rob. I'm hoping you can chime in with a few more, because I might not have them all. So we know Rob for just over 10 years. I'd heard about Rob in Dublin before we moved to from a mutual work colleague who said, you need to look this guy up, Rob Louis. He's awesome. And true to form, Rob was incredible. He was so generous to both Rob and I. When we arrived, he secured me my first role at Goodman Group, and we had a lot of fun for that first 9 months. And one story I remember about Rob is it was around the time that the iPad had come out. We met at the Glass House, and you were showing me your iPad and all of its lists. No, just all of the functionality in the iPod. This guy knows how to treat himself. Things I think we've all noticed about Rob. Firstly, I think Rob is exceptional company. He's always up for a chat, always up for sharing some stories. Some of the details can be intimate. We all understand that about it. My husband Rob and I had a surprise party last year in Manly with our Manly bubble, and the amount of people that afterwards sought us out to ask us, who are that couple? You know, they live somewhere north.
Outside Manly.
And it just signified to me how people are instantly captivated by Rob and Barb's. You can tell that Rob adores his family. It emanates from every pore. He loves spending time with his boys, Linton and Spencer. And I think you can tell a lot about a man in how he treats his mum. Observing.
There we go.
Observing how part of everyday life, Maggie is wonderful for all of us to observe. I think we can say that Rob is a professional amateur cyclist.
That's me.
I think, Barbs, you've touched on this already, but one thing that is absolutely true is that Rob buys the best. He knows what he wants and he goes right for it. He's an inspiration to all of us in that regard. There's no ifs, buts or maybes. We love how Rob makes himself comfortable in every situation. My particular favourite are the feet up on the coffee table, foraging in the fridge, and the cupboards. But what I can say is I think Rob is the same guy no matter what the situation. You cannot meet a more authentic and genuine person. Doesn't matter who you meet, it's the same Rob. Rob truly adores his incredible life partner, Barbs. They are like, you guys are like love-struck teenagers. I mean, look at you.
But I'm not bagging him out.
And a reminder to all of us on how to keep romance alive. I think, Barbs, you've also touched on Rob's generosity of spirit and love of life. Your enthusiasm and energy are infectious and an inspiration to all of us. I would also say that you are an incredible friend. I have been very fortunate to have worked, laughed and cried with you. You've been with me through really difficult times and it's so wonderful to be here at one of the high times. Maybe some of you may not know some of these other aspects about Rob. Rob is an exceptional consultant. I worked with Rob in Goodman and actually was your reputation that preceded you all the way to Europe. Your knowledge of the product you support is renowned in the Australian market. However, I did notice when we worked together that there was a little bit of consultant speak that used to infiltrate every now and again. And every now and again there might be a curly question coming from the client and Rob would sit back in his chair and ruefully look at the ceiling and there'd be a, interesting. And I later figured that meant, I haven't a clue. Yeah. I think we also know that Rob loves good food and wine and the finer things in life. An afternoon cheeky champagne or an espresso martini and a scone with jam and clotted cream.
Yeah, that's my language.
And finally, Rob's business empire, Trail Prop Pty Limited, has an interesting fixed asset register.
Stop the recording!
With all manner of quality kitchen appliances. I think there's the Thermomix TM31 and the TM5. I think there's a beautiful Breville coffee machine.
Yeah.
There's possibly even a Nasco dishwasher.
Yeah.
No, that was too far.
The question now, Rob, is the smoker the latest asset acquisition?
Gift. Some like it. Yes.
In closing,
But he thought about it, I'm sure.
I can imagine so. In closing, just 3 things I'd like your help with. Firstly, we'd like to pay tribute to Rob's incredible support team. Linton and Spencer, you are a credit to your mum and dad. You're always friendly, always confident, and always incredibly respectful to everyone you meet. And I especially like how you always look people in the eye.
Always, well said. Yeah.
Maggie, we admire so much how you have embraced the move to Australia and making Terry Hills home.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are many of us here who would love the same opportunity to grow old with our parents. Your bravery in moving to a new country to be with your family is an inspiration. And Barbs, your and Rob's love for and support of each other is evident in every interaction and is an inspiration to all of us. Let's raise a toast.
Cheers.
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 So two more to go. Okay. Next one. I would encourage us all to reflect on how Rob lives his life. I think there might be a lesson in here for all of us. Live life to the full. Work hard, play hard, love fully. Pursue your dreams, regret little, always move forward with enthusiasm and energy. And finally, we must raise a toast to the man of the moment. Rob, thank you so much from all of us for making us part of your life and this event, and we wish you and your family nothing but happiness.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Rob.
Good. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Robert. Happy birthday to you. Hooray! Hooray! Nog een pip.
Right.
Maggie's revenge.
Yes, my parenting skills have come out the question. I'm sorry about that.
One time, Maggie.
I really believe that with all those election campaigns that Peter and I are involved in, 18-hour days, trying to get the right people to stand against the repugnant apartheid period, it did impact on the
Is
lives.
this the serious part of it?
No, that's it. I'm going to keep to the script now. But I mean, I do feel sorry for the boys at some stage. Anyway, I will uncharacteristically be brief. My husband had a grin which could not have been wider than when Robert and then Andrew were born. As a parent, it was a challenge bringing up Robert.
I know.
They had such different personalities. But I think that one of the wisest decisions that Robert ever made was to ask Barbara to marry him. She's lovely and a very kind daughter-in-law to me. And then there's Linton and Spencer. They give me so much joy, and I love them to the moon and back. Robert, I wish you a very happy birthday celebration with your very dear friends, and I wish you much joy and happiness.
Thank you. Brevity is the key. No. It's great. It's great. I'm happy for him to talk. But here's not the problem. What I need to warn you all about is the right of reply is taken very seriously amongst my peer group, and there's a very good chance that this will lead to a rotating series of speeches. So we need to avoid that and have some
We got
dinner.
dinner to have, so you say a few words if you like, though. You don't have to, but you can.
Alright, well, Dad, you're 50. It's pretty good. A bit old. Look, we're very different, but if there's one thing I can learn from you, I think that it's when I'm 50, if I can have a room of people like this, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Shoulder room.
I agree. People. Good. Cool. Well done, indeed.
Well done.
Well done.